Test, test, test. Can you guys hear me? Man, look at those bags under my eyes. I need some coffee. Oh, that's hot. DCJRSRT10. What's going on, man? 5090 Legion Tower, bruh. Let's check that out. So I'm assuming you're probably wanting to talk about I'm sure there's an AMD 5090 version, or is it only Intel? The Ultra 9 285K. Okay, here we've got a 7950 X3D. Oh, that's the Legion Tower 5. It's organized by AMD 5090. Oh, looks like, yeah, I guess there isn't a 5090 version of the AMD. Let's get a little bit of music in here. All right, let's read some of these comments real quick. $2,000 to $3,000 budget. Okay. It's also been looking at the 5090 on Lenovo website. I got it down to 3,700 with the warranty. Wow, so a $3,700 even with an Intel is a really good deal. Yeah, Intel is definitely doing something with subsidizing PC costs with these brands. Yeah, if you got it down to $3,700 with warranty for the Intel 5090, then yeah, I'd say that's a good deal. I mean, I wouldn't say that's a good deal. That is a good deal. Let's see what it's like without your discounts that you're getting. Wow, yeah. I'm gonna see if I can add that to my YouTube links, because $4,000 is a pretty awesome deal. See if I can add that in here. $50.90. Nope. I guess Lenovo isn't included in the YouTube shopping tags. I'm gonna add that to my links with a traditional link later. Yeah, $4,000 is a really good deal. There's another deal, one that just, the Yeyian Mirage, that one is at 4,000 as well. I'm trying to think of the other one that I remember was at that range. I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet real quick. Yeah, so the Skytech Legacy 4, that was one that sold out. That was in the 5090 range. The Alienware Area 51, the closest it's been to $4,000 is now $4,250. The Yeyian Mirage, I'm gonna add that Lenovo Legion Tower now. So yeah, I'm gonna give you guys this spreadsheet too. I'm gonna add that to the description. All right. Can I upgrade the Archangel if I buy it? The Skytech Archangel, yes. The Skytech machines are always upgradable. All of this makes my head spin, literally. Yeah, it is a little hard to wrap your sorry. I need to wake up a little bit more. It is hard to wrap your mind around a lot of these parts in the beginning, but eventually it's you'll get the hang of it. Harold Summer Ford, awesome, man. Appreciate the $20. Let's see if you had a comment. Make sure I don't miss your comment. buddy ordered a 45L with 265K 5070. Yeah, the only thing with the 45L that I noticed in my tests is that the CPU did not run at the same exact CPU did not run at the same level that other PCs with that same CPU had. It's like they're kind of holding it back a little bit. I don't know if they were trying to protect themselves, but I mean they are priced better too, so it's kind of a trade-off. I'm over budget for a GPU, but will a 5700G supporting Gen 3 PCIe, will that hurt performance when I buy some cheap GPU later? Will that hurt performance when I buy some cheap GPU later? What's the Van Hager? What's the CPU in the PC that you're? Oh, are you buying just the GPU? I'm kind of confused on what you're purchasing right now. I've been looking at the Corsair A5100 with a 9800X 3D and 5080, although I doubt any of the Corsair prices are best deals. Yeah, I had Corsair stuff at the top as kind of my favorite PCs. The deals are more in the once you start looking at the price tiers on my list. Maybe I should clarify. Okay, so yeah, I did put favorite PCs. Black Friday deals. Yeah, Corsair doesn't tend to have the best prices, but they do have pretty good quality. When you're factoring in price to performance, that's usually going to be ABS or Skytech. Those always have really good price to performance ratios. Terrell Summer Ford, I found your videos recently and appreciate all of the unbiased reviews. It's been helpful. Awesome, man. I'm glad they're helping. I'd say what takes the longest with these PCs is just the overall the testing and then creating the charts based on all the other PCs. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but I update the charts for every review. So I go back through all of the PCs that I've ever reviewed, look at the prices for each one that I reviewed, and then put those back in, and then redo the price to performance charts. Just because things are constantly changing. So what I recommend in one video is not necessarily what I'm going to recommend in the video right after that. If you want a 5090, it's going to be hard to beat the Lenovo. Sure, you'll find better spec component 5090 pre-built on sale, but I don't think you'll ever find one for the same price or lower. Yeah, the only one that was that same... Actually, there was one that was 3900 by ABS. That sold out a few days ago, though. Didn't Gamers Nexus break down the HP 45L PC and it turned out to be... Yeah, so in his review, I watched it. He basically... he wasn't running the... I forgot exactly what he did in the beginning, but he wasn't running it at the highest settings, like the mode that most people will be running their PCs at. Granted, when he did run at the extreme mode, everything was running faster. But yeah, even in my tests, when I ran it, it wasn't the 45L was not up to par. If you look at my charts too, the 45L was not up to par when it came to its performance, or even its price to performance. It wasn't up to par. What do you think about mini PCs? Mini PCs, I would not recommend for gaming. A lot of these like tiny PCs that I see, and it says gaming PC, and it's like a $500 gaming PC. You're not gonna have a good time with those PCs. I think it's almost a scam to call a PC a gaming PC when regular games won't even play 30 FPS. I have $1,000. What pre-built should I buy right now? So I'm gonna pin the one that I recommend for that. So I just pinned this Skytech Shadow. This one, it doesn't have a lot of VRAM, but for $1,100, that's going to be a really good PC for you. Actually, let me pull up my FPS because I've actually done a review on this specific one, and I want you to be able to see the FPS that you're going to get with that. Alright, here's the Skytech Shadow with a 9600X and a 9060 XT GPU. These are all of our average FPS that we got at the highest graphic presets. Ooh, split screen, I like that. Here we go. I know you're reviewing pre-built prices, but do you recommend pre-built or buying parts and having them built in store, since buying the parts ensure that you're getting quality name? Yeah, buying the parts in Micro Center and having them build it for you, it's not going to be as cheap as a pre-built, but that is a route that you can take. That it's the pre-built route is more for people that don't want to have to think about all the parts, that don't want to have to figure out individually what's going on with a PC when it's not working properly. When you buy a pre-built, basically it's the company's responsibility to make sure that that PC is working properly for an entire year. So if there's anything wrong, you don't have to figure out what the issue is. They'll replace your entire PC if it is determined that you need to replace. Actually, if it's determined that you need to replace anything at all, they're usually going to try to figure out ways to not send you a brand new PC. So they're going to make sure that they're figuring out the issue for you. Clickbait review on the 45L. It's a lot better than Steve gives it credit. I prefer stability to bleeding edge. Yeah, I do think Steve's reviews oftentimes are more angrily negative than they should be. But I respect him a lot. I think he's probably the best PC reviewer out there when it comes to actual data and knowledge. Skytech is a nice configuration for the price. Yep, Skytech and ABS are two of some of the best bang for your buck. And then CyberPower and iBuyPower are also good bang for your bucks PCs. But a lot of times, if you game too hard on those PCs, oftentimes I've seen their power supplies give out on them within a couple years, which isn't a huge deal, something that you need to replace later, but that is one thing that I've run into. What do you think about Costco's iBuyPower Element gaming computer EBA7 and 5? $1,500 for a 5070 and 9800 X3D. I think that's pretty close to a lot of these prices that I have on here. Let's look at those current deals that I have in that configuration range. So 5070. Yeah, actually the Lenovo Legion Tower is the closest one that I've seen to that, but you're looking at something with a 9800 X3D for 1500. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good price. $12 gigabytes of VRAM. So I've actually got a Skytech Element. It is a 5070 Ti version that's currently getting tested right now as we speak. It's the white version. That one is at Newegg. And what's Newegg's price at for the Skytech Element? Not Skytech Element, iBuyPower Element. Yeah, so theirs is $1,800 for 5070 Ti GPU, but also it's a step down in CPU. Yeah, I've never bought a gaming PC from Costco, but that's a good deal. Valid through 21st of December. Will it be easy to upgrade to 32 gigabytes of RAM later when prices steady out? Yeah, RAM is one of the easiest things to upgrade and replace. Nebula or Skytech Shadow? Which specific nebula are you looking at? Are you saying spec for spec? If both are the same, which one would I get? It's honestly kind of a toss-up. I'd have to look at them spec for spec, but as far as the design of the case, I think I like them both about the same. I'm deciding between the Lenovo Legion 7i 5080 versus the Skytech Gaming, or the Skytech King 95 5070 Ti. They are the same price. So the Lenovo Legion 7i with the 5080, I know that's a Intel PC because it's the 7i, and then the Skytech Gaming PC with the 5070 Ti. Is that a AMD CPU or Intel CPU? Because if it's a 9800X3D CPU, it depends on what you are primarily gaming at. If you're gaming at 1080p or 1440p, then that CPU is going to matter a lot, and you're not going to want to go with Intel if you're gaming at 1080p. 1440p, it changes a little bit, but definitely if you want to game at 4K, it's all about the GPU. So I would stick with the Lenovo Legion 7i 5080. $9,800 X3D 5070 for $1,600. Yeah, that's not a bad deal. So don't have a specific one that I've tested with the 5070 with the 9800 X3D. I've tested a lot with the 5070 Ti and a 9800 X3D. Here are the FPS that you can get with that one. This is at the highest graphic presets at 1080p, 1440p, and 4K. I removed the Minecraft 1% lows because they're kind of janky and they're inconsistent for Minecraft for some reason. I do Minecraft tests with shaders, so it's not like normal Minecraft, like the easy to render Minecraft. It's the very very involved, kind of more ultra realistic Minecraft. Missing 701, sorry. Confused what that is relating to. Yeah, Jason, that's a pretty good price. Should I buy a second-hand Alienware X17 R1? Yeah, the thing with laptops, I personally would not buy a used laptop. My laptops tend to, actually, I've had an Alienware laptop that needed to have the fans replaced and the motherboard replaced. Luckily, I had the Alienware support where they just came to my house and fixed it. But when you get a secondhand PC, you're not going to have that. I don't think you can get support on a secondhand Alienware PC. Last time I checked. But yeah, it makes me pretty nervous to get a laptop from somebody used. Especially if it comes from somebody that did a lot of editing. I kind of crushed my Alienware laptop by just rendering out 4K videos all the time. 5070 runs right with my 3080 Ti. Pretty amazing considering 3080 Ti's were 2K during COVID. Yeah, that's one awesome thing about gaming PCs is that eventually the performance that you're going to be getting is going to cost you a lot less. Thanks for making the Google Sheet. It's really helpful. No problem. Wish I had time to put these FPS on that chart. I have them on a different chart right now that is just very disorganized, and it's going to create more questions than answers if I gave this chart to people. But if you have a specific PC that's on my list, or a PC that I've reviewed in the past, and you want to see what kind of FPS you're looking at for those PCs, I can show you on here. Alienware has sucked for 20 years now, just my personal take. I mean, yeah, Alienware has not had a very good reputation as far as desktop PCs are concerned, but they made a huge step in the right direction for the Area 51. Probably one of the most time-consuming reviews that I've done for a gaming PC in a long time, and one of the most expensive because I wanted to force them to put their money where their mouth is and prove that everything was actually upgradable. So I upgraded everything myself. I didn't technically upgrade because a lot of the parts were already the max that you could possibly get. But I replaced everything to show you that in the future, everything is going to be upgradable and replaceable. And that was the first time that Alienware has been able to successfully do that. Looking for a 1440p pre-built that will pair well with my MSI Mag 27271 QD OLED. Nice, you got an OLED. Yeah, gaming on an OLED just makes such a huge difference. Something about like that super contrast and the perfect blacks. It makes you almost sick going back to an LCD. Especially on those darker environments when everything's like there's a lot of blacks and you see kind of how gray the blacks look on other monitors. Yeah, I'm not a fan of Alienware. They have too many proprietary. I'd pick up Lenovo and HP for smaller builders over them any day. Well, Alienware is not actually proprietary anymore. They're using standard ATX motherboard size, so you can replace all of that. You can replace the power supply with a new power supply. Everything is completely replaceable now. The only thing that I did not like is that technically when you replace the motherboard, you have to replace the power supply because they're using weird connectors on the power supply. Jackson Wood, what is your budget? Can you convince me to save up for a gaming laptop? Save up for a gaming laptop. There you go. What are the kind of things that you normally spend your money on that would prevent you from saving up for it? Actually, so Carlo, you say HP for smaller builders over them any day. I would actually go Alienware over HP now. I have not checked out the new HP Omen Max. Let's look at that real quick. That is using the new 9800X 3D. Actually, I want to see how expensive that is. HP Omen 45L Max now has a 9800X 3D. I'm willing to bet their prices are not as favorable now that they're pulling away from that Intel stronghold that a lot of companies have been falling under. You can definitely see that Intel's doing some sort of like partnerships that makes the Intel PCs always less expensive. That and demand is lower because people know that the 9800X 3D CPUs are more powerful for gaming. Okay, so the Omen Max is not available yet. I thought it was going to be out by now. Launching in December of 2025. That's, I mean, you're kind of pushing it to launch it that late. But that's another thing too, is the Alienware Area 51. There's now a 9800X 3D version of that one, and look how much more expensive this version is than their Intel equivalent. Let me change this music. Yeah, look at that. $6,000. What's their cheapest one that they've got? Let's see. That is their cheapest one. So how low can we get a 9800X 3D 5090? Oh, okay, so you click on it to configure it, and it doesn't even give you any real options. I mean, they don't really need to stick you with a 4 terabyte SSD. That's one thing that jacks the price up. 64 gigabytes of RAM is unnecessary for gaming. That's going to jack the price up. But then, yeah, you go to their Intel equivalent, and I'm pretty sure it's like close to $4,000 now. Their least expensive option for a 5090 version. Yeah, $4,250. So $4,250 versus $6,000 to get that 9800X 3D. That's honestly, that kind of upsets me that they did that. That's just greedy. There's no way Intel is incentivizing them almost $2,000 to use their CPU in the forefront. That is crazy. So yeah, if you're gaming at 4K, there's really not going to be hardly any difference at all between this $4,000 PC and this $6,000 PC. Now, if you're gaming at 1080p, it definitely will between those CPUs. But man, that's insane. All right, let me look at these comments. I will die on the Lenovo hill. They're just so fantastic with every purchase I make. They consistently have the best GPU pre-built PC on sale. I got the 4090 for $3,600 and the 5090 for $3,300. Can't beat it. Yeah, I remember Lenovo, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago, they had the best deal by far on Black Friday for the 4090 gaming PCs, and that sold out before Black Friday. And then I didn't see it for an entire year. They didn't, even when the 4090s were still being produced, I didn't see that for an entire year. So I don't know what happened with all the 5090 builds for Lenovo, but they just up and disappeared. So Jacksonwood, 1500. Let me look at your original comment. Okay, so 1440 pre-built for 1500. Yeah, the Slate 9 is just a little bit above that. Yeah, if you can squeeze a little bit more than that, the FPS that you can expect with the Slate 9 is... Let's see, what's their lowest? At Cyberpunk 2077, this is Ultra with no DLSS on. You actually almost get up to that 60 FPS, even in the 1% lows. So that's definitely a great PC if you can push up a little bit higher. Oh, you know what? Let's look at this real quick. Yeah, that's the 9800X3D version. The version that I reviewed was the 7800X3D version. So it'll actually be a little bit faster than this. The numbers that will definitely be quite a bit faster will be the 1080p, but you're looking at 1440p. The numbers will be faster than this for that PC as well. Let's see, do I have a 9800X3D plus 9070 XT PC that I've actually done benchmarks for? 5070 Ti. Yeah, just under that, the Lenovo Legion Tower with the 7800X3D and 5070. That is one that I just ran benchmarks on literally yesterday. So at 1440p, let me show you the FPS that you're looking at with that one. Forza 159 average, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 113. This is without DLSS on, so DLSS is going to give you even better than this, but it's hard to compare PCs when you're filtering them through a software crutch that helps them boost their FPS. So to compare PCs to PCs, I don't like to use any of that because DLSS is constantly changing. So it's not a really good way to compare apples to apples. Yeah, these are the FPS that you can expect for that. And that's at $1,400 right now on my list. NAND as a miner. Let's see what that's referring to. You convinced me to save up for... Oh, there we go. Oh, like give you options on how to save up? Well, as a miner, you could do a lemonade stand. You could mow some lawns. You could ask Santa what kind of tasks he needs done and help him with his elves. No, I'm kidding. Alright, let's see. Yeah, they can miss out of me with that pricing. Yeah, it's crazy money. You can get 5090 rigs for under 4K all day long. Yeah, I criticized Alienware several times in my review for basically being tone deaf to the gaming community by only releasing Intel PCs. Granted, it had great 5090 performance in 4K, but you're kind of kicking out the people that aren't wanting to, A, can't game at 4K, and B, can't afford the top spec rig. See, what is a good pair for an i9 12900KF memory, 32 gigabytes of memory, 3080 Ti? What should I use to stream or game with? Bought this for $3,800 3 years ago. What's a good hair? What's a good hair for? JL Looser, are you asking what GPU would pair well with an i9 12900KF? Or are you asking what's the best PC to replace what you have? Best PC to replace what you have. Any thoughts on the Legion Tower 7i Gen 10 with RTX 5090, which is 4K, versus Alienware Area 51, which is 5K? Well, the Alienware Area 51 is actually at 4250 right now. I just put the Lenovo Legion Tower 10 on my list. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and link to that. So yeah, this is a really good deal. I have not specifically ran benchmarks on this to verify that the specs are performing at the same level as all the other PCs with these same specs, but I've never had a bad experience with Lenovo in the past. I just did a bunch of tests on the Lenovo Legion Tower 5, and that PC is handling games pretty well. That's not the 5090 version, that's a 5070 Ti version. Guys, let me know if any of these PCs that I say is in stock is no longer in stock. I want to make sure to remove those from lists and make sure that I'm streamlining this so people aren't wasting their time clicking on things that don't exist anymore. Alright, let's see if I missed anything over here. Carlo 1132, Intels are fine for 1440p and 4K, better for productivity. They are really good for productivity, but the 9950 X3D is right there up with Intel when it comes to productivity. So if you have a PC that also has a 9950 X3D, you're gonna have a really successful. What am I trying to say? You're gonna have a good experience with the 9950 X3D for regular performance tasks, 4K editing, anything that uses a lot of that CPU power. Do we have our first pre-Black Friday sellout? Heads up, anyone chasing that Lenovo 7i for $3,900? I half expect him to say it's no longer available. They're going to have to call in to get a rep to do it over the phone. The website keeps crashing because of their fraud filters. Just secured mine for $3,750. Gonna have to call in to get a rep to do it over the phone. Oh, I bet they do. That sounds like a nice little way to for Lenovo to cut out the middleman and say that the referral was not because of a tech reviewer. Because, yeah, if you call them and make the purchase, they're going to say, oh, we didn't get a link from Justin Tech. Is everybody else having issues with the website crashing for Lenovo? Could I play 1080p on the 1440p OLED monitor? Jackson Wood, yes, you can play 1080p on a 1440p OLED monitor. It doesn't look as good as if you get a 4K monitor and downscale to 1080p. That's going to look fine because you're basically just taking 4 pixels and bringing it down to 1, because 4K is 4 times more pixels than 1080p. But you're kind of getting like half-ish pixels going from 1440p down to 1080p, so it's not going to be as crisp and clear, if that makes sense, because they're going to have to interpolate the pixels in a way that it can't be as sharp as you want it to be. So technically 1080p looks sharper on a 1080p monitor than 1080p on a 1440p monitor. Terrell Summer Ford, they have 9 left. I really tried to make sure you got credit. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I wonder if they do actually try and make the link compatible, or make it compatible with my referral when they do it over the phone. That'd be nice if they do. We'll find out in a few days if anything shows up on my affiliate account. But man, I really appreciate the PC gaming community is probably one of the most to them actually wanting to support the information that you provide and all of the testing and benchmarks. Because I have people like you guys that actually reach out to me in the comments and they say, you've helped me a lot with your gaming PC reviews. I don't actually want one of the ones that you've reviewed, but since you've helped me narrow down, here's the PC that I want. Do you have any retailers that you can convert this to an affiliate link? And when people say stuff like that, it just like warms my heart that people actually care enough to reach out to make sure that I get credit for a sale. Because it's a very niche community when it comes to reviewing pre-built gaming PCs specifically. So you don't get as many views, but the views that you do get are very specialized, like direct views from people that are actually searching for those products. So basically, all my income is almost 100% affiliate revenue. Because yeah, YouTube ads with the views that I get are not enough to live off of. Just bought the Prism 4 9800 X3D 5090, my first PC, and it was pricey. Michael Wilkerson, what'd you pay for the Prism 4? Did you get it on Skytech's website or on Newegg? Or actually, I guess that's on Best Buy now as well, the Prism 4. Let me get more coffee real quick. I'll be right back. Actually, I'm gonna... What's that? Can you give me a tip for school and YouTube life? Depends on college versus high school. High school, honestly, was very tough academically for me. I was not the best. I tried really hard in high school. I tried really hard, but I have this memory that is, when it comes to things like dates and facts and names, my brain just does not see it as important information. So I did not do well on tests. Well, I mean, I didn't do horrible, but I was below average in my high school. And then in college, I went to college for computer animation because I wanted to do special effects and videos. That was back in 2005. I went to college. And I ended up being getting valedictorian in college because it was something that when it comes to creative things, when it comes to making things, I can put all of my head energy into it. I can focus. So yeah, I think with anything that I've learned in life, it all comes down to focus. And if you can focus on one thing, once you determine what you want to focus your time, energy, and attention on, that hyper focus is key in achieving what you want to do. Even with YouTube, the first year of YouTube, I was kind of just everywhere, just trying to figure out what I wanted to focus on. And once I figured out what it was I wanted to focus on, I just hyper niched on that. And I want to become the best at one small thing, one small niche, before I start expanding outside of like pre-built gaming PCs. Because it's hard to make a dent in this YouTube space and have people trust you when you're trying to be a Linus Tech Tips from the get-go, or trying to be a Gamers Nexus or a Jay's 2 Cents. If you're trying to be them right off the bat with all of the knowledge they have and how they kind of hit all aspects of many different things, especially Linus Tech Tips, he kind of hits everything tech, then you're not really going to be seen unless you hyper focus. Looking good pre-built PC for 1500 that can stream Call of Duty with high FPS. So for Call of Duty, you said 1500 high FPS. Devin, are you talking about high FPS at 1080p or 1440p? Monorail, I suck at coding. So is coding something they're actually teaching in school now? Because that was something they did not have in 2005, or yeah, I graduated in 2005 from high school. That's something we definitely did not have. We had computer class where we learned how to type. That's one thing that I am kind of confused with. I know my kids, they're not being taught how to type properly. And that was something I learned I started learning that in elementary in like before the year 2000. We had typing classes. But yeah, coding is something that's hard for me to wrap my mind around as well. But honestly, now with AI, it's making coding a lot more user-friendly, it seems like. All right, so Devin Bedaker, yeah. 1440p, and you're wanting 1500. So yeah, the Lenovo Legion Tower 5. Let me show you what I got for the Lenovo Legion Tower 5. I actually just did a test for this the other day. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. This is with ultra graphic presets. So if you use DLSS and go on the high preset, it's going to be quite a bit more than this. So we're at 113 average FPS with the 80 FPS on the 1% lows. But I've noticed DLSS cranks those up quite a bit. Is getting A good for maths? Yeah, that's really good. Yeah. Math, I think I always got a B in. Math was one of my more favorite ones because it was more logical and not as much rote memorization. Oh, looks like my tester is currently putting in the numbers for the iBuyPower element as we speak. Maybe that'll be all filled out by the end of the stream. You know, I want to see if the Lenovo Legion Tower is a better deal on Lenovo's website real quick. Because right now I have the Best Buy link. So 5070 7800 X3D. That's one thing that I appreciate. One thing that I appreciate with Lenovo is that they're not price gouging you with those AMD CPUs like Alienware is right now. That's just ridiculous. You're gonna pull that kind of thing on Black Friday. It's like Alienware might as well not release their 9800X or their AMD CPUs if they're gonna pull something like that. So what is this at on Lenovo's website? Is it not showing it? Oh, 1880. That's with the 5070. Wow, why does Lenovo have that PC for $400, $480 more than Best Buy has it? That's your own website. That's your own PC. I've noticed that quite a bit, is that a lot of times Best Buy will have a better deal than the actual website. Let's see, is there any... Oh, you even picked this one up at Best Buy. What in the world? You buy it from Lenovo, you pick it up at Best Buy, and then you pay more. Am I missing something? I don't see any discount codes. That's wild. Because, yeah, you can get one with a 5070 Ti and a 7950 X3D. It's going to be better for productivity than the 7800 X3D. $100 more, you get the 5070 Ti. Yeah, sometimes... Okay, so that is a Black Friday price guarantee. Sometimes the people that set the prices just really confuse me. Especially for this Alienware PC. I got a PNY 5080. What's the cheapest pre-built that would be worth putting it in? The cheapest pre-built. Oh, it's a good... Interesting. So honestly, if you already bought the GPU, your best bet is to buy all the other parts to build the PC yourself, but it sounds like you don't want to have to deal with any of that. Replacing a GPU is a very, very simple task. So I understand like you just wanting to be able to replace the GPU. So you got a 5080, you're going to want a PC with a 9800 X3D. The iBuyPower Slate 9 would be a good one. You're going to be getting the best gaming CPU. Replace that 9070 XT with a 5080. Let's look at the difference in performance between a 9070 XT and a 5080 though. Let me pull up GPU benchmarks. Oh, okay, so yeah, it depends on what resolution you're gaming at. Giraffle, what's the resolution you plan to game at? I'm guessing with the 5080 it's not going to be 1080p, so probably 1440p or 4K. So the difference between a 5080 and a 9070 XT, 57 to 67. So 17.5% more performance with that 5080 than the 9070 XT that PC comes with. That's at 4K. And then at 1440p, the difference we're looking at is 94 to 109. So still 16% better performance, replacing that 5080 GPU, replacing that 9070 XT GPU with that 5080 that you have. Probably not a huge difference at 1080p. Let's see, 117 to 133. Well, still 14%. Watching from Malaysia. Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know which PCs that I have on my list you can purchase in Malaysia. I'm pretty sure Lenovo and Alienware ship out in a lot of different countries. But yeah, these Newegg PCs that I have and the Best Buy PCs are probably not going to be... Actually, I don't even think Skytech's website you can send out to other countries other than the US. Okay, so yeah, Giraffle, definitely a good GPU for going to 4K. Yeah, so it was about a 17% increase from that 9070 XT to that 5080 that you have in there. But yeah, that iBuyPower Slate 9 is going to be a really good bet for that. And I have numbers of the iBuyPower Slate 9 that I did. They're going to be a bit better than this one. So I'll just let you look at this for the bottom level of what to expect. So the one that I reviewed had a 7800X 3D and 9070 XT. And these are the FPS that I got at 4K with that GPU. So expect 17% better performance in this. But also on top of that, that PC that I recommended has a 9800X 3D. So that's going to be even more above that. For context, I'm upgrading from an iBuyPower with a 2080. Oh, man. I wonder what the difference between a 2080 and a 5080 would be. That would be huge. Let me do a poll real quick because I want to see what people's plans are. Create a poll. When do you plan to purchase a gaming PC? Before Black Friday? On Black Friday? For Christmas next year? I don't know if you guys follow my posts on YouTube, but I have become a little post happy. There's something about like putting a post out there in the world and seeing what happens that excites me. It's also nice just learning what my audience cares the most about. The Legion I bought has a 5090, hoping I don't have buyer's remorse. I highly doubt you're going to have buyer's remorse for a $4,000 PC with a 5090. But luckily with all of these gaming PCs, when you buy during the holidays, you have such a nice, generous return policy on pretty much everything that I've seen. They all pretty much let you return up till January 31st, I believe. So yeah, if you do your tests and you compare to benchmarks that you see online, and you're like, you know what, that's not really what I'm getting, then yeah, I would return it. Manrail, you have kids? I do. I've got two basically 13-year-olds, one 5-year-old. Yeah, I've been a dad for a long time. Actually, when I first started YouTube, it was called Dad Tech. So I wanted to create tech for dads, or I wanted to create review videos for dads that kind of help them with raising a kid or being a dad using technology. Didn't really hit it off very well. Didn't get that many views for the videos that I was doing. Didn't get many affiliate click sales, and the ad revenue was not a lot. So I kind of pivoted from that and just figured out what the people that want to watch me the most care the most to watch, and focused in on that. Just purchased an iBuyPower Element Pro 9 from Walmart for $12.99. Watch you, Rick. What was the GPU and CPU in that iBuyPower Element 9 that you got from Walmart? Yeah, Walmart has stepped up their game a bit. When Walmart first started posting gaming PCs, at least on the YouTube shopping tag market, they had PCs that were like $7,000-8,000 that were like $3,000 PCs. I don't know what they were doing with their pricing or why they thought that was funny, but yeah, it was ridiculous when they first started putting gaming PCs on there. It was like they just assigned an intern pricing, and the intern was like, "Okay, let me make these really high," and did not think about like what things should actually cost. So before Black Friday and on Black Friday is 66%. It's kind of what I figured. While only 11% plan on getting one next year. I have noticed that there's still a lot of people that buy gaming PCs the January after the holidays. I'm guessing it's just they're all using their Christmas money. Just purchased. Wondering if you could review offline. I'm not sure what that means. Everything I help people out with is online. Guess through email. I'm a 20-year-old in the Air Force and then spread down to a 5-year-old. Wow, that's quite the gap. But yeah, from what I hear, it's pretty hard to get into the Air Force, right? There's a lot of people that want to do it, but the what do you call the physical and mental testing that you have to go through to be an Air Force pilot, from what I hear, is pretty intense. The gamer Yaz, LOL, my comment not showing up. Oh, am I at... I don't know why it always defaults to top chat instead of live chat. Alright, let's see if I missed any comments here. Oh, did his chat go away? Hello, my comment is not showing. The gamer Yaz. I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember seeing a comment from the gamer Yaz. Oh, you know what? If you're posting a link, I need to basically give you permission if you're trying to post a link, because the chat isn't designed right off the bat to allow you to post links. I guess for spam or something. How should I optimize my Dell Precision 5530 i7 8850H with a Quadro P2000? Those are specs that I'm not used to. Well, that to me looks like it's not a gaming... It's not a designed for gaming PC, so upgrading that would be kind of difficult. I think the Dell Precisions are not really made to be as easy to upgrade as a gaming PC. Let me see. Let me see what this looks like. Oh, that's a laptop? Yeah, you can't really upgrade a laptop. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because that's a P2000. Yeah, I'm not sure what you'd want to upgrade with that, or what your question really is. So many other jobs out there that any kid or person with a degree that doesn't know where they're going to go should go in the Air Force. Yeah, because once you go in the Air Force, I think you get a lot of the military benefits after that, right? And I think the Air Force, you also get subsidized when you go to college. Quadro P2000 is like a GTX 1050 Ti. Yeah, so basically you'll want to upgrade all of that to get a decent... What's your budget? Yeah, a decent gaming PC, even like the lowest range gaming PCs is going to give you better performance than that. But if you're asking me for laptop advice, my benchmarks that I've run over the past couple of years have not included many laptops. There's definitely people out there like Eururs Tech or Eururs Laptops that do a phenomenal job reviewing laptops. So I would go to somebody like him if you're not looking for a gaming desktop. $1,200 USD. So I'm assuming because you put 5K RM that you are currently in India. I'm not sure which PCs that I review are actually even available in India. I think possibly Alienware. It's like a $1,200 Area 51, which I don't know if they have any on here that are that low. Let's see if we can make one that inexpensive and see how much it costs. That's the least expensive Dell PC that you can create. Dell is really weird with their pricing. So you can customize one for $3,100, or for $4,000 you can get the top spec 5090 version, the 285K for $4,250. Yeah, I'm sure if you configure all of this to that one that's already ready to ship, it's going to be quite a bit more expensive. Oh no. Intel 285K. Oh, what's the power supply set to? That's right. I need to set the power supply to 360 millimeter. Okay, so that is the same price. A lot of times the ones that are already pre-configured for you, it saves you money, but I guess even if you customize it yourself, they're just going to route you over to the one that they've already built. But yeah, as soon as you start customizing all of these different components, a lot of times it makes the ship time go up, and it makes it more expensive than it needs to be when it's just already ready to ship. We don't have more options in India and Malaysia. Yeah, I wish it was easier to ship PCs from the US to other countries. But But I have noticed that there are a lot of my reviews that get watched in India. So I am kind of wondering why so many people from India. I mean, not so many. Obviously, most everybody's from the U.S., but I want to say it's like 10-15% is watched by people in India, which is still a pretty high number for people that can't buy these gaming PCs where they're at. So yeah, the reason I'm doing kind of like a soft launch stream this year, and not just going straight into Black Friday like I did last year, is last year a lot of the best deals sold out before Black Friday, so I wanted to give advice to people looking to jump in on that, so that they have a chance before that stuff gets sold out. Already, the ABS Eurus Ruby, both versions, the 5090 and 5080 version, have sold out completely. That's Newegg's gaming PC brand. Those have had some incredible price to performance ratios, but yeah, you can't get them anymore. I think they sold out actually last week. Windows 1? Oh, Windows 10. Anybody old enough to remember Windows 95? That was a big one. All right, now I'm going to do a different poll because I want to see what the price ranges are for people in this chat. What is your budget for a gaming PC? $4,000 plus, we'll say. I like how it gives crowns for the people that are interacting with the chat the most. I guess that's a new thing. That's pretty cool. Can I send you a link? Yes, let me add you as a moderator. Can review and remove chat messages and hide or put users in timeout. So I'm just giving you permission to post a link. Let's not do anything fancy in here. No need to remove chat messages or put anybody in timeout. I noticed somebody did that last year. Like, they started like hiding all the messages that weren't them. I was like, all right, buddy, chill. I do not like this song. Sent you an email with a link to my build via Micro Center. Okay. Assuming you used the link that was on my YouTube channel. David wants to build a 3-monitor, 24-inch each, and use height 70 touchscreen. Ooh, that's one of my favorite cases. I would also like to keep the budget, including build cost, monitor software complete, to a max of 2,500. So on my list, the weird but cool PCs, this Velstorm Praetex, that's using that height case with the screen. I love that look. Last year on the stream, I used a height Y70 case and then put a screen in it to give that look, and I had that in the background on my stream. But yeah, that's a 5080 version with an i9. Let's see. Let's load up this build. $2,600. Got a 7600X CPU, X870E motherboard. It's actually not too bad of a deal for the RAM. The RAM recently has been skyrocketing, but that's not as bad as I've seen, like a lot of... Oh, with the bundle discount. Oh, but that's only saving $10. That's not a bad deal for the RAM. So what's your Oh, so you don't have the GPU yet. Okay, so that's why it's not too high yet. Are you asking me which GPU you should get? A laptop under $700 that can do 3D rendering. I'll get to that in a second, but that's gonna be tough. So 7600X. A 9070 XT GPU would be a good bet for that configuration. That is a lot of power, honestly, for $570. But let's see what how that price, once we put that in there, compares with already pre-built PCs. Honestly, that's not like a... Oh, well, you're doing the height Y70 case. How much is that case? Just it's in and of itself. It's a $360 case. 750 watt power supply. I thought Micro Center would have saved you more money than that. Because $3,200 and you can get a PC with a 5080. All these PCs in here. Actually, $2,500, the Skytech Azure 3. You can get a 9800X 3D CPU with a 5080. Wonder why it's not a better deal than this to get from Micro Center. Does this even include Windows? Okay, Windows is in there already. Okay, so you've got a $200 Logitech keyboard. Okay, so we're looking at $300 more money there because you already put the monitor in there. Oh, you already put the quantity at 3 too, so that's 300. Okay, I'm sorry. 300, 200, $500 more. So theoretically, subtract $500 from this, $2,700. Okay, $2,700 for a PC with a 9070 XT. Still, you got all these PCs in here, these pre-built ones with 5080s for less than that. Well, you got two of these, the CLX set and the Skytech Azure 3. Actually, even this ABS Stratus Ruby, the $2,300. The better CPU than that one. That is a beautiful case, though. Yeah, David Potter, the GPU I think would give you the most bang for your buck for that build would be the AMD 9070 XT GPU. Terrell Summer Ford, I'll be 45 in February. I'm almost at that 40 range. So I got most votes for $2,000 right now. I want to do a poll now that we're talking about age. I want to see how old you guys think I am. I kind of gave it away with what I said, so you know that I'm not over 40. I say 25, 30, 35, 40. Quite the range, but often I am surprised about these answers. Alright. My specs, i7 RTX 5060.